Before the entire update comes out with the new Juggernaut remodel and everything else, I'm going to be going over the 5 currently best infected in the entire game. Let's go over them.
Number 10.
At the number 5 spot of the best infected currently in the game, it is the Shaman, which is not really much of a surprise. This infected has so many tricks and abilities up his sleeves that it's really just a matter of, if you have this infected on your team 24/7, there's a tiny bit more chance, or just the chances of you guys winning is going to be a lot higher than the survivors, but not guaranteed. But anyway, this infected has about 2 abilities, and they're both very strong. There is the first one, which is called Curse, which basically, if you were to activate it, these little spells would go floating everywhere, and if the floating spells were to hit a survivor or just in a contact with the survivor, instantly all incoming damage by an infected will be increased for the for the survivors. So basically, infected do like a ton more damage to survivors, the cursed survivors at least. But for the Shaman's second ability, he is basically able to heal all nearby survivors within like a 10 meter or something like that of radius, which is enormous, especially the fact that it heals every single infected. Well, obviously except the Brood, since that would be too overpowered, but it heals the Banshee, the Juggernaut, meaning if you have this guy literally around every single corner and he just spams his curse and he's healing all the time, he's gonna cause a lot of carnage, and especially the fact that most infected, especially the very strong ones, will not die.
Number 6.
For the number 4 of the best special infected currently in the game, it is the Francisco. Now, it's kind of a little shocking I'm putting him this high up into the list, but here are reasons why he's very strong. Number 1 is just the insane amount of stuff he has on his abilities. Alright, let's go over the first one. First one is his passive ability. Every single time you hit a survivor while you're in your cloak form, you basically regenerate HP, so you're basically a vampire. And number 2 is his other ability, which he obviously goes invisible, but as soon as he hits the invisible phase or whatever it is, any survivors within like, I don't know, like a 10-ish or like 8-ish meter range from the Francisco will instantly be blinded. He does not even need to hit them for them to become blinded. And thirdly, his third ability allows him to teleport from one edge of the map to the other side of the map. Well, at least a very far reach amount. And literally saying he is the best infected to just go in there, immediately blind everyone the second he goes into his phase, go for, I guess, the weak ones or just the ones that he has not gotten yet, completely annoy them and abuse him with this blinding thing, especially the fact that he's stealing their HP and getting some HP back. He just becomes so annoying, and overall he's just incredibly difficult to kill if he just hits you like a few times and it instantly teleports or goes for the next person, and then eventually when you're out of your blindness stage you have no idea where he is, and then eventually he comes right back doing the exact same strategy, and there's really nothing you can do as long as he basically continuously blinds you. This infected is incredibly good for basically distracting survivors 24/7 since they can't see shit, and literally every single infected can get the advantage in those few seconds.
Number 7.
Now, number 3 spot is going to be a little odd because I'm putting 2 infected on here, which is kind of strange, but I couldn't really decide which one of these was better, and that is the Hunter and Tingler. These 2 infected are both amazingly good in this entire game. Let's go over the Hunter's features first. Number 1 is his ability to just literally leap for a very long amount of distance, and if he leaps onto a survivor, he instantly is on top of them and starts raping the shit out of them while getting them basically into the captured state. And survivors are unable to actually break free from the Hunter unless the Hunter dies, or the defender, whatever it is, kills the Hunter or whatever, or maybe when the Hunter actually kills the survivor. But the Hunter is super good for literally stopping the survivors dead in their tracks and literally starts raping the shit out of them and basically killing and draining all their HP, while their teammates are just shooting at walls or running away from other infected and completely oblivious to that one dude, and literally all the other infected can literally help you out into killing that one captured survivor. Hunter is extremely good for these scenarios. Tingler, on the other hand, is just as good for the Hunter. However, I do think he requires a little bit more skill, because technically you have to be really good with like predicting on where the survivors are going to move next, so you can basically hit your targets, and the fact that literally it takes a while for your tongue to actually like register a hit on them. By the time you even like select a place to shoot it. By the time that happens, they mostly move. But when it does happen, survivors can do literally to nothing unless the Tangler is dead, the survivor is dead, or they have a machete. Most of the time they don't, which is really nice, but same times they do, it kind of sucks. But at the same time, both of these infected have advantages than the other one doesn't. Tangler is basically able to pull survivors off of a building, off of into death areas, while Hunter, on the other hand, is able to stop survivors at that exact second, unable to make them move anywhere, and especially it's very deadly when there's spit on them. You could just immediately just capture them there, and they won't ever be able to move. These two infected are just god tier good, and I couldn't decide which one was better.
Number 9.
The second best infected currently in the game is, surprise surprise, the Juggernaut. Now, I know there's a lot of people who love the Juggernaut. I mean, I love the Juggernaut as well, but I haven't really played as much, but so eh. But anyway, the Juggernaut is and always has been the best infected currently. Well, not currently anymore, but basically he was the best infected in the game. He literally had 6,000 or at least 2,000 to 6,000 HP, depending how many survivors there were. His ability was downright great. Basically, he would pick up a boulder, and if you were to time it correctly, you were able to throw it at a survivor. As soon as it would hit the survivor, they would instantly take 30 to 40 damage or something like that, and instantly they would be stunned, aka unable to move very fast, and all their weapons would basically have a decreased movement speed. This rock ability was very great, especially the fact that literally he also has a passive ability for his punch, or if he punches a survivor every 3 or 5 seconds or something, they would instantly get shot up in the air and obviously have the stun effect as soon as they get on the ground for 1 second. But he was very good at punching survivors off of a building, off into the waters below. Basically, he was just the downright definition of, oh shit, let's just hope there's wherever I am, it is not as bad when the Juggernaut is here. But at the same time, if you're on a building or something and there's a Juggernaut, you better hope you have some mad juking skills to not get punched off. The Juggernaut has always been the greatest infected in the entire game because he can take up so much damage, deal a crap ton of damage per hit, especially with his rock and punch ability, and he's just downright a powerful infected in the game. But he is outbeaten by one infected barely.
Number 1.
Hey, you. Finally awake.
What the hell? The best infected currently in the game, which was really not much of a surprise, is the Banshee. Back then, the Banshee was downright one of the worst ones because literally you had to get her into her second stage for her to deal damage, and the only way for her to do that was to get shot. In this current meta, she basically has to either get into her second stage to actually deal damage, but the way you get her to her second stage is a lot harder or a lot easier basically. She has to take damage, number 1, or she can basically get close to you guys while you're healing, reloading, or shooting, and eventually you'll piss her off until eventually she'll start attacking. While in her attack stage, she is downright terrifying, especially for the player who is playing as them, if they're downright god tier good. First of all, the Banshee has a total of 1,350 HP, which is a large amount. Because number 2, she has an incredible, increased devastatingly, very fast movement speed. She's able to go at high velocity per second or whatever you want to call it, and she is just downright fast, basically. I believe maybe even the fastest infected currently in the game. Well, I believe the most fastest is the crawler when he's sprinting, but still, the goddamn Banshee is fast. Number 2, she has an incredibly high jump, height, whatever it is. She jumps very high, able to basically jump onto buildings with ease and chase down the survivor if they ever try to jump over obstacles or jump on buildings or whatever, I don't know. But the other things that are very deadly is her damage per swing. It's 20 to more or something like that. Every single swing is just devastating damage, literally. And the fact that literally she has an overpowered ability where she literally ear rapes the shit out of a survivor, and if they were to get caught in those white rings or whatever, they instantly get ear raped and they are unable to do anything. They can't even move their character at all, while they are perfectly vulnerable to swing attacks from her, and especially getting captured by any other infected. The Banshee is downright the best infected currently in the game. Thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah, I'll see you guys all about 40 years and have a great game.